Finally, J Sharp, my own time slot in the building. A place where I can do my thing. Say the things that I feel like need to be said. Yeah, get some stuff off my chest. I hope everybody's ready, cause we get ready to do some real talking up in here. Here we go. You know who it is. Yeah. I've been waiting for a chance to speak my heart, so it's time for real talk with your man J Sharp. Nothing's off limits, we'll talk about it all. So sit back, relax, and let's have a ball. Bringing my swag to the topics of the world, saying what most folks won't, cause I'm that bold. Let's have some fun, cause the show's about to start. Are you ready for real talk with your man J Sharp? Good evening, what up everybody? It's your man J Sharp in the building, ready to get this thing cracking this evening, man. It's real talk with your man J Sharp, man. We're gonna touch on a few things this evening, talk about some stuff that need to be heard, some stuff that folks has really got on their mind right now. So there's some stuff that I got on my mind. Hey, I'm gonna start this thing off by welcoming our special guest this evening. Your girl, Shauna B. She's in the building with us. Say what up to the people, Shauna B.
What up, people? What up? Shauna B in the building. Hello, Mr. Sharp. How you doing?
I'm doing well, ma'am. I'm doing well. Hey, you know, we got our thing we do each and every evening when we start our shows off. So I got to give a shout out to the Father up above for allowing us to be here, giving us this platform, being able to share our thoughts and our mindset with you. You know, this is one of those new additions that's come to Indie Evolution. And we're glad to have every All right, my bag, everybody. We've been having some issues this evening that been having us going in and going out, but we here with you. Don't run, don't leave, don't go nowhere, because somehow or another our connectivity is booting us out and kicking us back in and booting us out. But we gonna make it through this thing. So y'all hold it down and y'all be in the building with me and Miss Shauna B. We in the building getting ready to start this thing off, because we talking about a topic that, you know, I hear a lot of conversation about it myself, and I know the ladies do a lot of talking about it, because a lot of ladies got some requirements that they look for when they looking to meet somebody. You know, some of y'all ain't on your grown-up status just yet, but then we got all these grown women that's out here, and they got specific requirements they looking for when they trying to meet a man. So, you know, tonight we gonna talk about it. We gonna, see what it do and how we can maybe help some folks, find you a boyfriend, a fiance, or a husband in 2013, because everybody be looking for them. That's all I be hearing about, but it's funny to me. So I tell you what, before we even jump into any other kind of questions, I'm going to let Shauna B have a moment and kind of just let us know what she thinks is some of the important things that women look for in meeting a man here in 2013. So, go ahead on, Miss Shauna.
Okay, well, thank you, Jay. Thank you for opening up the floor for me. I guess maybe I just want to kind of go back to what you just said is, we women nowadays in 2013 have their standards and their whatnot. I mean, I would figure that a man, just to put it out there, I would figure a man would also have their standards and their whatnot. So, basically when you're on that grown people status, and you don't want to just say grown woman or grown man, because I think it's grown people status, and that's exactly what everybody's looking for. And so if you on one accord, then of course you'll find it. But it's all about, I guess this evening we talking about where we gonna find it at.
Well, you got a good point right there, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, because it ain't just grown woman status, is grown people status, because us men, we got specifics that we looking for.
At least we would hope. We all hope, just like y'all would hope that, a woman would be on her grown woman status.
And
You
and,
know.
and and absolutely, you absolutely correct in that fact right there. So, I guess one of those things that, we look at, even in looking at it from a male standpoint, I guess when we looking for a woman, that's on her grown woman status, we not just looking for a woman that's got a pretty face, not just a woman who's thick in the waist. We want a woman that's got some intelligence behind her. She knows how to stand behind her man and be that support and be that helpmate that is required.
Okay, I get that, and now I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to tell you that I think it's, let's not get it twisted. We all know that we like a pretty face, who don't like a pretty face, and of course it ain't all about that, but everybody wants somebody that's attractive to you, however it's attractive to you.
Yeah, and that's true. And I guess maybe in extending what I was saying, there are some other requirements that override just the pretty face in your grown person status from a male standpoint. And it's those intangibles that come into play when, when you wake up at 4, 5 in the morning and you got the flu and you a snot nosed mess and you the ugliest thing walking around, but you still the prettiest woman on the face of this earth. So I mean, from a male standpoint, there are some other things that we look at and not just looking at the pretty face, the thick waist, even the nice little batting of the eyes and the quick witted, statements that can be made. But we sitting up and we trying to make sure that we put ourselves in a position to where we make sure that we get those standards met from both sides of the spectrum, not just the male side, but also the female side. So, I agree wholeheartedly. We do want somebody that's attractive to us, and we want somebody that's going to tickle our fancy, but we also want somebody who has an intellectual, capabilities to keep us stimulated both mentally as well as physically.
Right.
So, I got some folks chiming in. Hey, Miss Martin, good to see that you're tuning in this evening. She told me it sounded like I was eating something there. All right, man. I'm having this thing. It's getting ignorant over here. We promise we gonna have these glitches out the way by Monday when we get back on with you. So, I was. I'm telling my business, even sitting here on the mic with Miss Shauna B. She laughing at me in the background because I was trying to get a little chew on. Hey, that's why this is called Real Talk with Jay Sharp. I say what I want to say because I mean what I said. Yes, I was trying to get a bite in between, but it's all good. Hey, back to the topic. We sitting here talking about meeting and greeting in 2013, and I guess I gotta get to one of these questions that we had that's come about this evening. I got folks walking in the studio. I got all kinds of things going on. Folks just don't understand everything that is entailed in your man's day. I swear to you, you don't. Hey, but anyway, like I was saying, now we was talking about this whole meeting and greeting thing, and looking at being grown folks, If you one of them people that still get out here and get in the club and you go do your thing, so let me ask you this. Do you actually look to meet somebody that you gonna do more than just conversate with and have a drink with and dance with at the club on your grown person status? Shauna?
I mean, I would figure definitely, and being grown, I guess basically I was taught back in the day, that, in your 20s, hey, you writing in pencil. You can go back and correct all those wrongs and you can bounce back in your 20s and whatnot. But we moving along into our 30s, and into our later 30s. which means that, that's called stability. And it's time for stability. So you're not just haphazardly meeting people saying, hey, let's see what goes on. I mean, definitely out and dating, yeah, you keep yourself open, and yeah, you like to have a good time, and no, you don't go into every meeting and every situation and saying, hey, this might be my husband. But I mean, you definitely don't want to go in and not disclose exactly what you're looking for. You put it out on the table. You looking for. I mean, and let's go back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Look at Miss Kenya, Miss Lady putting it out on the table. She
Lord.
want to be married. She want children. She getting along. She done had her career and whatnot. I mean, I don't think it's anything wrong with putting it out on the table.
I mean, I understand. I understand that. I get now. You want to talk about Miss Kenya? That's
Well,
a
I think
whole.
she. Now I
That's
do
a
think
whole
she
nother
is
show.
doing
But
something a little bit ridiculous. You don't pound nobody in the ground about it, but you do go in there letting somebody know, and hopefully y'all on the same page.
and I understand that. I understand
And
that.
then you go into that type of dating situation.
Well, and I feel it because personally, I guess when you look at it from the male standpoint, we tend to be a little bit more shallow when you going out to hang out at the club. It's not always something that you're looking for a long-term type situation, but you might find something that entertains you for the evening or even for a few evenings after that, and you engage yourself in it. And I'm not even gonna say that that's just a 20s type of thing, because it's those that's in their 30s, it's men in their 40s and 50s that's still out here doing the same thing.
That's true.
And for whatever reason, some of them, they done been through the trenches and done made it out unscathed, and they ain't trying to get back in the trenches. Some of them, they haven't seen what the trenches even look like yet. But at the same token, they're at the whole club thing. I guess in the old school upbringing, sometimes we was always told that the club relationships aren't necessarily going to be your most serious relationships.
That's true.
That's something that it ends up being more fly by night at the end of the day, because somebody is not on the same level as you, or you're not on the same level as somebody else, or you're not willing to stoop down to a certain level to
I don't know if I would say maybe not be on the same level or stoop down to the same level. I would say when you in a club setting and when you in a club environment, basically you got your swag on. It's a whole bunch of liquor going on. So they're meeting what people used to say. They're meeting your representative. They're not really meeting you out at the club. This, like you said, you want to wake up with somebody that had the flu, and you see her in her curlers and a rag and whatnot, and she might look a mess. I mean, but then the next, if you out at the club and basically you meeting that representative. You're not meeting the whole person. People, like I said, like you just said, people take the club as a joke. It's out there. It's a free-for-all. It's some days where, hey, you done had a bad day at work, or you done had a bad breakup, or somebody done got on your nerves. You want to go out. You want to kick it. You want to have a good time. You're not looking for nothing serious.
I mean, I understand that as well.
Most of the time.
I understand
I'm not going to
that.
say it can't happen. I'm just saying most of the time. You're
I
not looking
understand
for
that.
nothing serious.
And back at you one more again after getting shut out in the middle of the whole conversation. Now, we was sitting here talking about the whole fact of the matter of meeting representatives out in the club, and having to, not necessarily defend who you are, but understand that sometimes in some dealings, that when you meeting a representative at the club, then you're not necessarily meeting that person that you could take as serious to build a relationship with, or something that you can see a future in, so to speak. And that makes it a little bit harder from that standpoint when you meeting representatives and not a genuine person that's just maybe out having a good time. Because see that maybe it's the abuse of the club in my
And maybe
eyes.
not just even, and we talking about in 2013 right now. I mean, I'm so and so 30 something age. Not to disclose everything about me right now. We gonna have to get to know each other a little bit more before we disclose all that. But that's exactly how it goes. Look at this whole thing in the news with the Manti Te'o thing. I mean, you don't just go out there and divulge everything about yourself in these day and age. You can't do that. You just can't do that. You got to get to know, and if that person like your representative, maybe they'll, I don't know, maybe they'll like you eventually.
Well, maybe. It's always
and maybe
it's always up in the
sense, but
it's always up in the air.
You just
it's always
can't,
questionable.
you just can't in these day and ages. You just can't divulge everything.
Well, I got a comment over here on Facebook that I'm gonna jump over here to. This one comes from my girl Charlotte Stafford, and she says she's longing for a God-fearing man, one that puts God first, has a legal job, wants to be the best that he could be, one that loves her and her boys, and not afraid to take a stand and become the head of the household.
Girl, get it, boy. I'm trying to tell you. Whew. I mean, I think that's, it's like a fist pick. I got my fists up. It's like, I mean, really? I think that's what we all looking for, I mean, but, even in looking for it, I guess even in being in a spiritual sense, we all might be looking for it, but when we find it, are we really ready for it?
Now that's something to ponder on.
Are we really ready for it?
That is something to ponder on.
Because for us single women to come and a man to come in and just take over our house because he just are we really ready for it? I think that's the question.
Well, can you elaborate on that a little bit?
I mean, no elaboration. I'm not trying to make it seem as though
elaborate.
It's basically what I'm saying is okay. When we talk about, we all want a God-fearing man, and we all want a man that's going to come in and love us and love our kids and be family-oriented and whatnot and whoop-de-woo, and never to belittle Miss Lady, but it's more to the fact of, I guess even in my 30s right now, I'm more to the fact of it's real. You can't, if you're a single woman or if you're a single mother, and no matter how many years or how many months or whatever you've been doing it by yourself, we got this S on our chest, or we've had this S on our chest, to where it's like, okay, yes, that's something that we want, but by the time it actually comes down to it, and it's in our face, it's in our house, it's amongst us, do we really want it?
I mean, and the reason
that's all I can really elaborate on.
The reason why I asked you to elaborate on it is because I mean that question kind of poses another question that comes from the male standpoint, and from the male standpoint is what happens when you get exactly what you asked for and it becomes a detriment of your relationship. Mm-hmm. Because you're not ready. Because you're not ready for it. Because you don't accept the fact that a strong, God-fearing man who is not willing to take a stand and become the head of household steps into your presence, and it's not what you wanted it to look like.
Right.
And it's kind of like it's a very fine line and a catch-22 all at the same time, because it's like you have certain requirements, and this is from both sides of the spectrum. But when and I'm just saying, mm-hmm. when you looking at it from both sides of the spectrum, you have all these requirements and things of that nature, and most of us don't realize that when we form requirements and we form our own, quote unquote wants out of a relationship or needs that we feel that we need, we form them under our own mindset and our own understanding, and we expect other people to know exactly what that looks like. When you get involved and you get into a relationship with somebody else who doesn't really, they're not as engaged in what it is that you saying that you want, because you're not saying that you want it from them. You saying something that you want, but when you get it, you're not prepared for it, and it becomes a detriment in a relationship.
And that, and in saying it like that, if I can even speak a little bit further about it, of course, like you just said, It does. It works on both sides, because a man can tell you in a heartbeat, oh, baby, I want you, I want to be with you, we're going to get married, and blase, blase, whoop, whoopty woo, I'm looking for a wife, and I think that's maybe one of the mistakes that a lot of women make right now. Stop looking for a husband.
Say it again.
Stop looking for a husband. He'll find you wherever you at, in the right time, in the right place. He'll find you.
Well, I mean, last time I picked up my Bible and I did my studying, I think that's the way it's supposed to be, isn't it?
I mean, I know it's easier said than done. Trust me, I know it's easier said than done. But it happens.
Yeah, well, I mean it does because we all human. We get involved and we get engaged in some of our humanistic things. So, I guess before we get ready to wind this thing up this evening, I guess we got to ask one more question because we on our grown folks status.
Right.
So, as being on your grown folks status, where do you go to meet people? Since the club ain't really your thing and it ain't where you want to be and it ain't the type of crowd that you want to engage in.
You know what? I really, like I said, I wasn't going to divulge too much because it's my first time on air. And, I'm really not trying to put too much out there. But I think it's possible, I think it's where maybe God would destine y'all to be. And I don't know if I believe in a such thing as soulmates, but I believe in compatibility, and wherever you may meet, whether you're at the club or at the grocery store or, I ain't going to say at the casino because maybe the casino might not be the best place.
Glitch, glitch, twitch. If that ain't some old BS, I swear, man. Just can't wait till we get to the juiciest parts of the conversation before it want to cut us off. Maybe it don't want nobody to meet nobody this for the 2013. Stay single. Don't just go out and have a good time.
Just stay single.
I'm telling you, man. Sometimes I think back.
Easier.
I think back to what my granny used to tell me, man. She used to tell me. She said, "You know what? You go out there and you have you some fun. Get you some when you want it, and send them home. And that way you ain't got to deal with nobody's business and personalities." And I never did really catch on to what she was saying until after I got divorced. So I mean, I'm all ears this evening, even in knowing that it's a lot of folk out here that's looking for certain things in certain areas in 2013. You might be looking for a husband, you might be looking for a wife, you might be looking for a mistress, you might be looking for you never know what you're looking for these days.
You're gonna have to find your life.
You're gonna have to find your life because it's 2013.
Find your life, do something with your life.
But I mean, before we get too far off the ticket, I was thinking of a couple of places to where you probably could start out. And, I always suggest church. But I'm going to tell you right now, when Deacon Lewis is too busy eyeballing you to pay attention to being in his trustee duties and can't take up the offering because he's so far up your behind, that ain't who you want, I promise you. And I ain't saying they all like that. I ain't saying it's in every church. God, if you sit up, I tell you what, I ain't even gonna tell you. I'm gonna retract that whole thing because I ain't telling you where to meet nobody. All I'm gonna tell you to do is have you a good conversation with God, and when God sees fit, You ain't got to look; it's gonna find you,
Right.
and it's just that simple.
You know,
Folk
surround
don't,
yourself with good
yeah,
people and good family and people that mean you well, and be around positive people, people that's going places and doing things and having fun and vacationing. And, you know, I mean, and love will find you. You ain't got to look
absolutely,
for it.
absolutely.
Look, we sound like we on a Dear Abby advice
Some old
kind of column
relationship,
thing.
some old late night relationship show. Yeah, man. I mean, sometimes it comes down to that though, because some folks need to be encouraged. Some folks need to hear certain things that they,
That's true.
might be straying away from. They might be confident in one moment, but in another breath, something might shut down their self-esteem. And we just trying to help you regain it, rebuild it, get it together for 2013. Get your ish together and find your life. I don't say get your life because I think Tamar is just she's out of control.
Please
But we're not going there. But I'll tell you, find your life because it's out there to be found. Folk don't know and they don't realize. They get so caught up in the world that they forget that they do have a purpose. And so in most cases, God don't want to see you alone, so he gon' send that person that you need, not necessarily the person you want. He gonna send you the person you need. Don't be stupid. Don't be naive and don't be ignorant to just shun and turn it away when it's presented to you in your face, thinking that it ain't what you wanted. Because God don't care about what you want. He care about what you need. Now, once he give you what you need, your wants they come in after that. But you got some things you got to do in order to get them wants met. So, hey, we've been having a great conversation, a great time. We got a few more minutes before we get ready to get up out of here. I want to thank Miss Shauna B for sitting in with us this evening, holding it down. Oh no, we like to have the ladies come through and holler at us, because it makes us feel even bigger than life.
Just let me know. I mean, because I was presumptuous, in my conversations this evening and saying that I was coming back. Just as long as I'm invited back.
Well,
I appreciate the opportunity.
Quiet is kept. You auditioning. We might bring you in so you can start pinging in off of your man Jay Sharp on this nice little conversational timepiece that we have going on. So look, she shine away.
Okay, I hear opportunity.
Oh, is that what you hearing?
Opportunity.
Oh, she hear opportunity. So, hey, y'all don't be surprised y'all hear Miss Shauna be back in the building chiming in.
At some point in time. Thank y'all.
Hey, before we get ready to get up out of here, I want to take this opportunity. I've done this on each and every show this evening, and I want to do it on this one as well. I want to thank everybody for locking it back in with us here at Indie Evolution. We regaining our strength, we regaining our composure, and we gaining even more momentum. We doing it big in 2013 with the addition of all of our other shows. I know this is a cheap plug, but this my station, this my show. I can say what I want to. You don't like it, tune out. So we want to thank everybody who's been locking it in these last couple of nights. We getting our feet wet. We getting acclimated. Seeing what kind of response we getting out here from the listening audience. And I see that we got some folks that's on point and on board. So you can best believe Real Talk with Jay Sharp is gonna be giving it to you nice and easy for the first few nights. But then we gonna start smacking you on that ass tail like we mean to do. Because that's why it's called Real Talk. We like to get up in folk neighborhood. We like to get on your block. We like to hit home. We like to hit home a little bit, make you start thinking about some stuff. So, like I said, if you haven't had an opportunity to check out any of the other shows, whatever genre of music you like, we got Indie Evolution Country nightly, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central Standard. Then we go into our rock hour. We got Indie Evolution Rock at 8 p.m. Then the show that got it all started and kicked us all off on this whole Indie Evolution ride, Indie Evolution Underground Radio at its new time, 9 p.m. Central Standard. And then, of course, we close the night out because I keep silent on most of these other shows because I be waiting. I be stewing. I be ready to get on this mic and spit. I'll be ready to get on and tell you the real talk about a lot of this stuff that's going on out here. Next week, I think we gonna, I just haven't had the gall to wrap my eyes around it, but I'm gonna be forced to, because I'm gonna have to start talking about this whole Nicki Minaj, Mariah Carey thing going on American Idol next week. So y'all get ready. We got a whole lot in store. We got a whole lot coming. We're gonna talk inauguration, Martin Luther King Day on Monday. So y'all make sure you lock it in, you load it up, be here. Real talk, Jay Sharp. Miss Shauna B, you want to say goodbye to the people before we get up out of here?
Goodbye, people. Real talk.
Hey, so y'all make sure y'all lock it in, load it up Monday evening, 10:30 live. We going in the building. It's your man, Jay Sharp. Everybody have a safe, sound weekend. Get it in and do what you do.
And we out.
And we out.